there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and for this video I'm going to be reviewing a book that I finished 2 nights ago, and it was one of the best books that I've read in a very long time. It pulled me in, I got so connected with the characters, and it was just so good. The book that I am talking about is They Both Die at the End by Silvera. Now, if you haven't read this book, then you may be looking at it and being like, what is that title? Like, they both die at the end? What? And, I mean, the title is what happens in the book. So basically what this book is in this world, they have what is called Deathcast. Basically what Deathcast is on midnight, if you get a call from the Deathcast people, then that means that you are going to be dying that day. So basically you find out when you're going to die. And they don't tell you how you're going to die or when during that day you're going to die. You just know in the next 24 hours you will be dead. This book follows 2 characters by the names of Rufus and Matteo. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, they're the 2 main characters, and basically they both get a call on this day telling them that they are going to die. They end up finding each other through an app called Last Friend, and they end up bonding, and this book is just about them together, and it's told through multiple different perspectives. It's told through both the 2 main characters and then also through a few other people, and I just really enjoyed this book. I've previously read one other Silvera book by the name of History Is All You Left Me, and I absolutely adored that book as well. It was so incredible. I love Silvera's writing. It pulls you in, it keeps you interested, and it's not repetitive in any way, and he's just a really good author. This book in particular, it's been a really long time since I have been so connected with the characters. I started this book at about 9 o'clock 2 nights ago, and I started it because I had just finished another book and I was in a really big reading mood, and I was like, I just want to start a book. I'll read a couple chapters and then go to bed or do whatever I want to do. But I picked this book up and could not put it down. I was up until like 3 in the morning reading this book because I just could not put it down, and I could not stop reading it because I was so invested in what was going to happen to these characters. Because obviously, yes, they do both die at the end. That's pretty obvious by the name of the book, but I just got so invested in the characters, and there was lots of laughter, there was lots of tears. It was just very intense and such an amazing book. And like I said, Silvera's writing is so incredible. He does such a good job at making you feel what the characters feel and making you connect to the characters. And he just does a really good job at writing. The characters in this book were really easy to differentiate as well. A lot of times I find when a book is written in multiple different perspectives, it's very difficult to be able to differentiate the 2 or the multiple perspectives in the book because they just sound really similar. But in They Both Die at the End, it was really easy to differentiate who I was reading because they all had such different personalities, like especially the 2 main characters, because Rufus and Matteo were very different, but they really complemented each other, and it just... I'm sorry, I just keep saying I love this book because it was absolutely incredible. I also feel like the concept of this book is really interesting and really unique because obviously there are other stories out there like this, but a lot of times you don't pick up a book and know that the characters are gonna die at the end. At least in my experience, I've never picked up a book and known that pretty much everybody I'm reading about is going to be dead at the end of the story. So it's just a really unique and really special way of reading the book. That is about all I'm going to say for the non-spoilery part of this video because I have a lot that I want to talk about. So if you haven't read this book, definitely go and pick it up. Definitely go and read it. It's probably one of my favorite books I've read this year. I adored it. Go and pick up a copy. read it, and come back and join for the rest of the video because I will be dissecting this book some. And yeah, but if you haven't read it, then I would leave now and come back once you've read the book. But everybody that's read this book, definitely stay, and I will be giving my thoughts about this book. So bye, non-spoilery people. As you can see, I had a lot of thoughts about this book. There was so many really, really, really good quotes in this book that I found, like so many, and like a lot of the ones I sticky noted because I had to be able to remember them because they were just beautiful. I also absolutely loved how all of the character stories were interlooped. They all connected somehow, and like every single different perspective was able to connect, and oh, it was so good. Literally less than 100 pages into this book, it already had me crying. I was already so emotional. Okay, right here, right? It's right after Rufus has had to leave, and he's had to leave his friends without having a proper goodbye, and Malcolm starts to cry, and I'm like, no, stop it. And he goes, not because he's scared to go to the police station, not even because Rufus is dying, but because the biggest crime of all tonight was not being able to hug his best friend goodbye. I was like, no. And I'm so glad that they were able to like meet up later and get that goodbye hug, because I was not okay. Like when Malcolm and Tago were taken to the police station, I was like, nope, this is the end. They're not going to be able to say goodbye, but they were able to say goodbye, and I was like, thank you. I loved it when Mario buried the bird because it just showed his like perspective on death. And then when Rufus was like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like, their personalities complemented each other so much. Like, thank you. And when like Rufus was like, it's like 4:05, like, and he was like trying to get him to hurry, and Maddie was like, no, I'm doing this. I don't care how much time it takes. I am doing this. Maddie goes to say goodbye to his dad, and Rufus comes in, and Maddie's like, give me 10 minutes. I just need to say goodbye. And Rufus says, take as much time as you need. And Maddie goes, no, come in and get me in 10 minutes. I was like, he's not going to be able to say goodbye to his dad, and he's not going to want to leave his dad, and Rufus is going to have to come in and drag him out, and I was just like, no. I didn't guess in the slightest that Mario was going to be gay or bi or whatever he was. I was just thinking that they were just going to be friends in the end. I got a slight bit of suspicion when Mario said that Olivia was the first person that he had come out to, and then Mario was like, oh. I was like, what is this? Like, are you either homophobic or are you not straight? Like, what's going on here? When they kissed at the end of the book, my heart was like, like when Maddie was like blushing because they were holding hands, and when they finally like kissed and they got up on stage and sang the song and then they kissed, I was like, my heart, I shipped them so much. Like, they had a day together, they found each other, they were able to find each other because they were both dying on this day, and it was so cute. Oh my god, I can't get over how cute it was. Like, a lot of times I don't like insta love. Like, insta love annoys me so much the majority of the time, but because in this book, like, they literally only had a day left, it was like, it's okay. Like, they can have insta love, I don't mind, because they had these 24 hours to bond, and they bonded so much, and they learned so much about each other. And I was like, it's okay for you guys to fall in love this fast. When that guy went into the gym and was like, he pulled out the homemade bomb and was like, if I'm gonna die, then everybody else is gonna die with me. I was like, what are you doing? Also, why were so many people at the gym on their end day? Like, so many people just wanted to spend their last day at the gym. Like, I get a couple people there, but there were so many people at this gym. Why? And also, wouldn't you like talk around with people and realize, oh, we're all meant to die today, maybe we should like get out of here because we're all meant to die today and we're all in the same place at the same time, meaning this is about to happen right now? Like, I feel like people would have talked and found out that it was everybody's end day, and they all would have like gotten out of there and tried to at least live a little bit longer. Like, obviously you're still gonna die, but at least try to live a little bit longer. But no, then the gym blew up and a bunch of people died, and Rufus and Mario got out, and I was like, this is the end for one of them. Like, I thought one of them was gonna die in that moment, and then the other one, it was just gonna be about that one person for the rest of the book. But no, they both survived, and then they rode their bike off to the park, and I was like, yes. And then Rufus gave away his bike, and I was like, my heart. That was a very emotional part of this book. Lydia. Okay. When Mario chose not to like tell Lydia that it was his end day, but then Lydia like caught up on it and was trying to get her to stay around for longer, I was like, my heart. And then like when they met up with each other at the travel place and Lydia did this like speech about how he was meant to be there forever, I was not okay. You're supposed to be with me forever. You're supposed to be around to play bad cop when Penny brings home a crush for the first time. You're supposed to keep me company with card games and TV marathons when she leaves for college. It just keeps going, and I'm like, I am not okay in the slightest about this. And they just both start crying, and then they hug, and I was like, can this book not? When they kissed, right? And then Rufus is like, what took you so long? What took you so long to kiss me? Like, he knew it was coming, and they were just so cute about it, and then they just kept kissing. My heart. And then the Plutos show up, and Rufus goes and hugs them all, and he gets to say goodbye to his best friends. When they get a gun pulled on them, I literally wrote down, can't be the way that they die, because I was like, no, they're not allowed to get shot. They've been through this entire day, like, of so many, like, big challenges and big things. They're not allowed to both die from being shot. I was like, that is not the way that these characters die. And, like, I kind of knew that that wasn't how they were gonna die, but then I just didn't want to turn the page, because I was like, no, if this is the way that one of them dies, I'm not going to be okay. And then, yeah, with the gun, I literally could not turn the page. Like, I sat there for, like, 5 minutes just staring at this page, not wanting to turn it, because I did not want them to die on the next page. I was not prepared for them to die. No, even though I knew that it was coming at some point and we were nearing the end of the book, I was not ready for them to die. When all the Plutos say goodbye to each other, and I have to read you this. I have to. You may be born into a family, but you walk into friendships. Some you'll discover you should put behind you. Others are worth every risk. The three friends hug. A planet missing from their Pluto solar system, but never forgotten. Why, Adam Silvera? Why must you do this to me? And then Rufus and Mario go back to Mario's house. They're seeing all Mario's stuff and saying I love you to each other as much as they can before they know that it's coming to an end really, really soon. Why didn't Mario stay in the bed? Maybe they could have, I don't know, avoided death. Like, they were so close. When Mario didn't check the time because he thought that he had lived through it, he thought that he had slept past midnight and he thought he wasn't gonna die, and Mario didn't check the time to see if it was still the day that he was gonna die, and he got up and went and turned on the stove. Like, fire, you're really gonna mess with fire at a time like this? And then there's the part, when I switch on the burner, my chest sinks with regret. Even when you know death is coming, the blaze of it all is so sudden. And he burns to death. Like, he could have had and he was the one that kept saying how he wanted to sleep, like, die in his sleep, because he knew that that would be peaceful and not painful at all. And then he burns to death. And when Rufus comes over and hits a solid thing and reaches down and his fingers reach into melted flesh, I'm like, no, that wasn't the way Maddie was meant to die. That entire, like, part, like, I was so not okay. And when Rufus gets up and runs over and tries to find him, and he's like freaking out when he goes to the hospital and says goodbye to Mario's dad and writes him the note saying that he really did live life to the fullest. And okay, Rufus's death, no, like, I crossed the street without an arm to hold me back. He gets hit by a car and then the page is just black, so he's dead. No, their deaths were not okay. I was not okay with their deaths. Also, not about Rufus and Matteo, but Delilah. We never actually find out if she actually died or not because her ex-husband goes to find her, and then that story's never finished. And I'm like, can that story please be finished? Because while I definitely cared more about Rufus and Matteo, I needed to know what happened to Delilah. So yeah, basically, in the end, this book broke my heart into a million different pieces, even though I knew it was coming. Like, I knew that they were both gonna die at the end, but it was like, I wasn't prepared whatsoever for it, especially because I got so invested in the characters. Like, I haven't been this invested into characters in a really long time, and I got so invested into the characters, and I just did not want them to die, even though I knew it was going to happen, but I just was not prepared, and just the way that they died, like, the violent deaths that they had, like, why does that have to happen? Like, why couldn't they have both just died in their sleeps at, like, 11:59, and they just would have both been dead in that way, rather than burning to death and Rufus putting his hand into his melting flesh? Like, what? And then Rufus getting hit by a car, and then the page just going blank and black, and at least I assume he got hit by a car because, like, I crossed the road with no one to hold me back, and he got hit by a car because he wasn't with Matteo anymore and he knew that he was gonna die. Ugh. Yeah, so that's my little rant about this book, review of this book. I really enjoyed it. I got really invested into it. I got really invested into the story and the characters. I love Adam Silvera's book. I know that there's one other book that he's written that I still have to read, and I can't remember for the life of me what it's called right now, but I definitely need to read that one because I've read History Is All That You Left Me, and now I've read They Both Die at the End, so I really need to read this other book because I love his writing. Like, ugh. His writing style is so incredible. Yeah, I probably missed out on a bunch of points that I want to talk about, but my mind was kind of just in like a big fuzz, and this book. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts about the book. I would absolutely love to know your guys' thoughts and hear what you guys thought about it. And let me know what your favorite parts and least favorite parts of the book were. I am giving this book 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adored it. It was beautifully written. It was a beautiful story. And I got so invested. I read it all in one night, straight through, and was up until like 3 a.m. reading it. Definitely 5 out of 5 stars. Incredible book. But let me know what you guys thought about it. And yeah, that is going to be about it for this video. You can give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I would really appreciate that. Let me know down in the comments, like I said, what you guys thought about the book. And you can hit the subscribe button if you want to be told when I make new videos. I make bookish videos, music-y type videos, and fandom-y type videos. If any of that sounds of any interest to you, then you should totally hit that subscribe button down below, and I would really appreciate that. And yeah, that is about it for this very long, very rambly, very emotionally like video. I'm Tegan, this is Bookwormia, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!